2 years ago, I was driving with my friend through downtown. We were making a left-hand turn through an intersection when, out of nowhere, a car from across the way came smashing into the side of our car. They T-boned us going about 30 miles an hour. Now, thankfully, they hit the back end of our car. It was the back passenger side, so no one was seriously injured. But the cause of this accident was that this young man was looking down and texting while driving. He didn't see that his light had turned red. In 2008, there were nearly 6,000 fatal car accidents related to cell phone use while driving. There were over 515,000 individuals who were injured in police-reported accidents, and all these accidents were directly related to cell phone use while driving. I know from first-hand experience that cell phone use while driving can lead to serious accidents and injuries. Staying connected is definitely important in today's society, but it's not worth your life or the lives of everyone else on the road. During the next several minutes, I want to explain to you the issues surrounding cell phone use while driving and give you some specifics on how phone use while driving increases your risk of accident. Substituting your handheld device for a hands-free device actually is no less of a distraction, and you're most attentive when focused entirely on the road. Using your phone while driving is a serious distraction. Mary Madden reports from the Pew Research Center in her article, Teens in Distracted Driving. In 2009, a group of 800 teens were polled to see their use of cell phones. Of the teens polled, 52% of those were between the ages of 16 to 17 years old, and they all were active texters. They said they had been in a car with the driver while they used a cell phone. The driver had put themselves or others in serious danger while using their phone. Studies have shown that while dialing is found to be the most common cause of crashes, one has to take their eyes off the road to dial the phone. The simple act of talking on a cell phone, even on a headset, is proven to distraction and to cause several accidents. John Watts and Stan Herring wrote Statistics of Cell Phones Causing Car Accidents. It's an article. According to their studies, cell phone users are 4 times more likely to cause or be in car accidents than those who are not using their cell phones. Following this study, this year alone, there have been over 342,000 accidents that have been caused by people being distracted on their phones while driving. This resulted in 2,600 fatalities this year and a near $43 billion annually in property damage, lost wages, medical bills, and fatalities. Now let's compare the use of hands-free devices with the traditional phone. Derek Harper is a correspondent for the Press of Atlantic City. He wrote an article entitled, Statistics Show Hands-Free Cell Phone Use While Driving is Just as Dangerous. Harper notes that hands-free or otherwise, you are seriously distracted while on the phone. In New Jersey, he conducted a local study in 2008 to determine if there was a difference between the traditional use of cell phones and hands-free devices. Here's what he found. Handheld cell phones were part of 738 local crashes, which injured 345 people, and 7 were killed in 2008. Hands-free devices factored into 360 of those fatalities. 360 of those crashes, where 137 people were injured and 1 person was killed. 50% of these crashes still involved hands-free devices. Unless your attention is directly focused on the road, you cannot maintain safety while driving. Erica Ogg is a correspondent for CNET News. She writes on this matter. A study published in an article, Human Factors, the Journal of Human Factors and Agronomic Society, found that drivers talking on their cell phones, either handheld or hands-free, are more likely to crash because they are distracted by conversation. Conversation is meant for you to engage in the other person. You can't engage in that person fully if you're distracted by driving. In the same way, you can't focus entirely on driving if you're engaged in a conversation with someone. The study used Driving Simulator, which used 4 different conditions. The first condition was with no distractions. The second, using a handheld cell phone. The third, talking on a hands-free cell phone. And the fourth, someone was intoxicated to the 0.08% blood alcohol level. There were 40 participants that followed a simulated pace car that braked intermittently. Researchers found that the drivers on the cell phones drove more slowly and braked more slowly and were more likely to crash. In fact, the 3 participants who collided into the pace car were chatting away. None of the drunken drivers crashed. Now, this is of course not an endorsement to start drinking and driving. This is just to show you that texting while driving or talking on your cell phone while driving is just as dangerous as drunk driving, and it's not something that society should have to tolerate. When you are driving, you need to be focused entirely on the road. You need to wait to make and receive your phone calls until it's safe. You're putting yourself and everyone else at risk every time you answer the phone or look down and take your eyes off the road or distracted by your driving. Today we've learned that cell phone use while driving increases your risk of accident, and really substituting your hands-free device for an actual cell phone does not distract you any less, and you're most attentive when you're focused entirely on the road. In an effort to decrease traffic accidents and fatalities, you cannot use your cell phone while driving. You become far too distracted, and it's not worth the safety of everyone else out there. Thank you very much for your time.